Videos that are going to make you question everything on the internet. Let's just start.
You actually went to a party where Diddy was at.
Yes. Okay, this is the first time I've ever talked about this. So the party that I went to, there was a separation. There's an upstairs and there's a downstairs. The upstairs is guarded by security guards. It's Diddy's party, but it's not a freak-off party. It's just a regular Hollywood party. So these Hollywood parties are done to transition you to the freak-off parties. It's kind of like a grooming process. Because I'm not going to lie, the party where they select people to get groomed to the freak-off parties were a lot of fun. Like, they were fun. That's why people go to them. Anyways, I was there. I saw a lot of celebrities there. Snoop Dogg, for example, who's a close friend of Diddy's. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but he's definitely someone to look into. People would walk in. Security guard wasn't guarding the door correctly, and they saw Diddy in bed naked with 3 other men.
What?
Okay, so he's been doing this. I mean, obviously he's been doing this. He just got caught now. But I heard about this stuff a long time ago. When I lived in Los Angeles, homosexuality was like, it was so normal. You're so desensitized to being able to sleep with as many women as you want. What happens is these rappers, I'm just gonna be real, they're smashing a lot of girls, right? That perverted spirit of lust, and this is also why they end up going to children. The perverted spirit of lust is like seeking for new excitement. Because when you're living in the flesh and you're living in sin, you feel that high, that euphoria, but only for a temporary bit. These men, they can get any girl they want, to the point where they get tired of it, straight up. That's why a lot of NBA players too, got caught for like sleeping with men versus women, because these men are in the top 1% of what women desire, right? They're successful, they're famous, a lot of them are like tall, right? So they're used to it. So it gets to the point where the sex is not enough anymore with women, and now that spirit starts ministering to them. Hey, have you ever tried things with a guy? Hey, you just need some excitement in your life. That's why drugs were so prevalent at the Diddy parties. It numbs them to the conviction of God, and it makes the act less painful. Okay? Because people don't understand. Like, we want to talk about how homosexuality is normal, blah, blah, blah. It is a very painful thing. That's why these people need to take drugs. They need to be on mind-altering substances, because the pain, I'm just going to get graphic with you guys, because because Christians genuinely think, some do, that homosexuality is okay. We need to really describe this so you can realize this is sin.
Crazy.
This resonates with me so much, because that is literally what I can spiritually feel or see. Because not just with like Taylor Swift, I'm just talking about with so many artists or people in the industry that aren't even just artists. It could be actors, it can be politicians, it can be whoever, it could be your next door neighbor. Like, I can sense the demonic presence on them, or the alter ego, or the demons surrounding them and stuff like that. And it's like that for Taylor Swift for sure. I feel like after the Grammy thing, I didn't even watch the Grammys. Like, the Grammys, was, showing snippets on YouTube and stuff like that. So sometimes I always click if it's like an interesting topic or title. And the Taylor Swift thing, just watching her, I literally felt this. Like, I felt something so off about her. It's something more that she's done. It's something more that had been done behind the scenes that I can't even put my foot on. And I'm not trying to even like take away from maybe talent or accolades, because not everyone that gets like awarded for something or accolades are like twisted or something like that. It
True
just
that.
really
Yeah.
be that the talent really shows for them, and then they get the attention necessary. But I feel like there's a lot more to it with Taylor than people realize. Something that she's done to, I don't know, that something's off. And then the whole, I'm so shocked I just got this award act. Like, I didn't feel that was authentic. I really didn't. Like, and I don't really want to sound like a mean girl or anything like that. Like, oh my gosh, who is she? Like, I really didn't feel that was authentic. I think she knew she was gonna win. I really believe that something's working for her. Somebody's working for her. People are working for her. The spirit realm is working for her, and not in a good way. The spirit realm is working for her. She's doing something right, but it ain't good. Something's off. I'm so serious.
Let's talk
Crazy.
about more soulless eyes in women.
Okay.
So Ice Spice is a perfect example of soulless eyes, and I really did not feel this way about her until she lost all of that weight miraculously. So in the span of less than a year, Ice Spice's eyes and total vibe completely changed. Strange, right? She's a
Yeah,
perfect
right.
example of soulless eyes. Now, people were saying in my other video, oh, it's only because she has these like big blue eyes. Like, no. Ice Spice has gorgeous brown eyes and she still has a void that just stares back at you. Also, I wanted to mention to you guys, when somebody has soulless eyes, it could either be drainage or this person is just a void. Like, this person is just energy. And for Ice Spice, since she lost all of this weight, it has just been a void that stares back at you. I remember when I did her aura reading and how she had all these beautiful vibrant colors, and then it just went to straight up gray. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.
Can you please give me your credit card number so I can help you?
Yeah, sure. Let me just pull over because I'm driving, alright?
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I just had a car crash.
It's going to be all right. Don't worry about it. Do you have your credit card details?
Oh, that's so mean. That's so heartless.
I just had a
That's
car
so
crash.
heartless.
I'm bleeding.
Yeah. I just need your credit card number. That's all. Yeah.
What's that? Oh, there was a stunning discovery
Crazy.
at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean found by marine archaeologists. Tell me more. Yeah, 3,000 feet at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, there was found a kid's playground. Oh, now, first of all, how did it last that long? And secondly, how come it looks eerily similar to all the playgrounds we have now today, yet even a little bit better? And this was 10,000 years ago? Oh, goody. Now, who could have built this 10,000 years ago? In the video, it looks like a pretty well-equipped playground, plus some extras that we don't have today. I love it. This indicates to us that we are just simply using old, recycled technology and ideas.
Right. I will believe
I
that.
love it.
Yes.
A man asked ChatGPT if they were able to come down to Earth and become a man, what race would they pick? ChatGPT said they want to be black.
What,
ChatGPT
really?
said that black people have endured all of the horrific things that you can endure on Earth, which is so God-like because they have been able to be triumphant regardless of what they have been going to, and that is godlike. From slavery to colonization,
Okay.
imperialism, to apartheid, to lynchings, you name it, black people have been through it. And God is the only other person that understands that. ChatGPT said that black people are resilient, triumphant, and forgiveful people, just like God. So if ChatGPT were able to come down to Earth and become a person, they
I don't think black people are forgiveful for whatever that she's saying, but then I feel like we don't have the tools to retaliate back. That's the reason why there's peace, because they don't even make it available for us to, create the tools to be able to retaliate back. And anybody who tries to, stand up for a revolution is being killed, or, something bad happens to them. So, I mean, that's the reason why. And it's like we are feeding on the technology of the whites, or of our colonial people. I don't want to say masters, but then yeah. So yeah, I think we don't have the necessary tools to be able to retaliate. That's why we are not retaliating. But then hey, I mean, that's what I think. Let's get back to the video.
choose to be a black person. Yes, indeed. So if you want to see that response, maybe I should go over to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, which race would you be if you were able to come down onto Earth?
Sometimes God will have people spiritually attack you just so they die. That's it. He just wanted to clean the planet, so he used you.
I like
He'll
that.
pay you back in compensation later.
You know why Trump
Like
is invading
that.
Los Angeles, right? Not because he wants to be a dictator. It's not because he hates Gavin Newsom. It's not even because he hates immigrants. All these things are true, of course, but they aren't the primary reason. Think through it for a second. His economic agenda is dead. His foreign policy is dead. Canada, Panama, and Greenland are still not ours. RFK has gone fully rogue, clubbing public health policies over the heads like they were baby bears with brainworms. Elon Musk thinks he's a cuck. His federal layoffs are backfiring in his face. I don't think he's seen Ivanka in 4 years. Melania definitely thinks he's a douche. Barron can't get into Harvard, which, if you recall, still has foreign students. And I tried to book a vacation suite at the Gaza Strip Trump Hotel. It turns out that wasn't real either. 5 months of failure
really?
without a single meaningful policy signed by Donald Trump. He can't even get a simple budget through the government he controls. His second term so far has been a conveyor belt for press releases from his desk to the shred bin at the Supreme Court, leaving him nothing more than the power conveyed by a handful of centuries-old emergency powers that I think honestly Congress would have gotten rid of if anyone believed a future president would be stupid enough to try to use them. But just like we saw with the Alien Enemies Act, I think it's extremely unlikely those other obscure emergency powers will hold up under scrutiny. Donald Trump didn't invade Los Angeles because it's something that needs to be done. He invaded Los Angeles for one reason only. He doesn't know what else to do.
Can you believe this is what your car started out as? In today's video, we're checking out how a massive steel coil turns into a car body. This is the stamping shop, one of the big 4 steps in car manufacturing. A solid car starts with solid materials. For first-tier Volkswagens, we use high-grade galvanized steel sheets coated on both sides. They're sourced from big names like Beosteel and Shogang. The first step in stamping is uncoiling and measuring. What you're seeing now is an automatic cutting system made by Schuler, a top German brand. Right now it's feeding in the steel, kind of like how toilet paper unrolls. Same idea. First, they trim the rough edges off the coil. Wondering what happens to the scraps? We'll get to that. Once that's done, the transfer bridge drops and the real process kicks off. Since the steel is rolled up tight, the next thing they do is flatten it out. Now here's something cool. You probably haven't seen this before. And yeah, it's the kind of thing you'll bring up every time someone mentions cars. They remove the center conveyor and let the steel sheet drop and hang in midair. This helps relieve tension in the metal and makes it easier to cut cleanly. Next up, different dies are used to slice the sheet into parts for the car body. After cutting, the machine stacks everything up automatically. This is what we call a semi-finished part.
I never knew this.
Can you guess what part of the car it is? Once stacked, an overhead crane lifts the sheets and sends them to the stamping line. That crane, made by a Chinese company? Actually, no. It's a stamping line built by Müller-Weingarten from Germany. There are 4 of them here, plus one more from Jinan Second Machine Tool, a Chinese brand that's starting to catch up. Now it's time to shape the steel. A KUKA robot picks up each piece and places it on the conveyor. For top-tier Volkswagens, we use a 5 or 6-step stamping process. Word is, some other brands still stick with the older 4-step method. This particular line is an 8,100-ton press from Müller-Weingarten. Stamping's pretty simple in theory. 2 heavy molds press the sheet into shape. Here's how the process breaks down. Step 1, drawing. This shapes the basic part, like a door panel. Step 2, trimming. Cuts off any excess metal along the edges. Step 3, punching. Those clean holes? This is where they're made. Step 4, another trim. It cleans things up again after punching. Step 5, flanging, just like folding over the edge of a shirt. Step 6, final shaping. Gets rid of burrs and sharp edges, and just like that, it's done. After stamping, each piece goes through a manual inspection. Once approved, it's set aside. Then it's picked up by one of these AGV carts, little guys, and taken to the logistics area. That wraps up the stamping phase. Next, FA Logistics will haul everything over to the welding workshop. In the next episode, We'll walk you through the full welding process.
Black people are like genetically predisposed to chicken. I really feel like that. I feel like it's some type of Operation PSYOP to where it's like, why do black people like chicken so much? And it's like, what did they put in the chicken? Because here's the thing, chickens now, they literally can grow a full grown chicken in 3 weeks.
I believe it because when I went to Thailand, I saw a real chicken and didn't know what the fuck it was.
Because it looks different, right?
It was like fucking this big.
Right.
And I've been seeing these fucking giant ass chickens all this time, and I'm like, dude, what are we eating?
And that's what I mean. So like the chickens over there, they look scraggly and kind of like more lean, right?
Yeah, for sure. They look like they're a little bit more fit.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So over here, they have chickens that are like super fat, and they can make a whole grown chicken in 3 weeks. So that's another thing too. And they don't have to disclose what's lab made, what's not.
Right.
So when you're like out in the restaurants, you don't know if it's lab, if it's regular,
Facts.
you know, raised, naturally. Like I've seen eggs to where it's not even coming from a chicken. Like it's all made up. They have these.
What you mean, like
it's made up? Like it's really synthetic. Like they cook it in a lab and it's like eggs.
What the fuck?
Right?
I was in China when I was there. It's true.
Weed is the devil's lettuce, alcohol is the devil's beverage, and sobriety is God's preference. Body fat and man breasts are the devil's swag. Muscles and abs are God's aesthetic. Excuses and complaints are the devil's dialect, while positivity and accountability are God's native tongue. Comfort is the devil's present, and struggles are God's gift. What the devil offers is more immediately appealing, and most people have neither the faith nor the courage to endure the hardships necessary to get to heaven. So when faced with a choice, they pick damnation over salvation and walk the pleasure-paved path to hell, because it's the easier route. Free will is a curse to those who lack willpower and a blessing to those disciplined enough to resist temptation and delay gratification. No matter what you do in life, you are going to suffer, but you get to choose whether that's for now or forever.
Why aren't there
Makes
more
sense.
people talking about how Walmart, spelled backwards, is tram law? Tram is a Egypto-Gaelic word meaning to wear pajamas and flip-flops and barter or steal goods. Why is their goal to indoctrinate the masses, the new law of the tram, leading to untold misery and ultimately global domination and annihilation? What in the world? Why are there 200 and something Walmarts all over the world shutting down right now? You can't tell me it's because of the preliminary methods failing of stopping stealing. They said it has to do with tariffs and Bitcoin. Let's get the conversation started, TikTok. What is this all about? Go ahead and comment.
Wait a minute. Did y'all see the video of the worker? When I say that y'all better tighten the fuck up, it's nasty as fuck out here. Of the healthcare worker, and the lady say, I'm making this video because I want y'all to be aware of what's really going on out here. She said when people go to get tested, she said it was taking almost like 2 days just for lab results to come back. It's no longer taking 2 days. She said it's taking 4 to 5 days for lab results to come back.
Why?
And she said the reason behind it taking so long is because of the STD rates.
Damn, crazy.
She said the STD rates are through the roof. She said, when I tell you it's sad, it is sad. She said, I'm telling y'all myself, protect yourself out here because it is bad. It's bad. Yo, I'm just looking like, for this to come from a healthcare worker to be out here warning y'all, we living in some scary times. And TikTok, this is for educational purpose only. I'm only on here to bring awareness to my friends. Y'all share, like, comment, and repost. Bye, y'all.
Crazy.
Y'all, please go look at the last video that I reposted. Let me tell you something. This
She
is
looks
why
so
cats
weird.
are so amazing. Cats are the best pets to have. This lady posted a video of her cat
looks like
just
me, though.
staring at her ceiling fan, like, staring at it, like, What she doesn't know is there's a camera in there, and that cat is able to see it with its cat eyes. Cat's eyes are ultra sensitive to certain lights, and her cat is looking at a camera. I don't know if she knows the camera in this ceiling fan, but that cat does, and it can see it, and that's why I keep staring at it like that. Y'all ever seen how cats act when you take them little things with the little red dot on and then you
The laser.
do it around the room?
Yeah.
That's why that cat is looking like that. There's a camera in your ceiling fan, ma'am. I don't know if you know it's there. I don't know if you bought your home, if you rent it. But that cat can see that. Like, if y'all have cats and they ever look up at your ceiling fan, at your appliances where a hidden camera can be installed, and they just stare at it like that, there's a light, there's a camera in there. You need to get that checked out. You're welcome.
Thank you.
First, I'm a philosopher. First.
So if the revolution will be televised now, what are we going to see on TV?
The revolution.
What's it going to be like?
It's going to be a mental re-evolution of people's minds. The revolution is not about running down the street with a gun, shooting at who you think is the enemy. The revolution isn't even about all black people getting together. The revolution is not even about all white people getting together. It's not even about a group of people getting together. It's about controlling the information that's going into your mind that affects the actions that come after that information is in your mind.
Like that.
It's all about mind control.
Right to the point.
There was a time in my life where I was making illegal money, and it was coming very quick, and it was a lot, right? And what that allowed me to do was see the shadow side of women. So I got to see what women will do for bread. And I got to see what very attractive women will do for money, right? So they was getting loose. They was busting it open. And at the time, I misinterpreted what they were doing wrong. At the time, I was looking at what they were doing as a negative. I assigned a negative meaning to the fact that they was going hard because I had bread, and they was turning up, getting nasty. You know, if I said, bring your homegirl, homegirl's coming. If I said, bring your sister, the sister's coming, right? Because that's how my money was coming, right? So I assigned a negative meaning to what they were doing, and I dehumanized them, right? Because what they were doing was very human. It was the shadow side of women, but it was very human. And because I didn't know that very attractive women did that, that was my introduction, I mislabeled it. The fact is that what they were doing was very human. The fact is that women have a shadow side, and there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that I didn't know what I was looking at. So I'm saying that because I think of a wealthy man. I've never been a wealthy man. I've had money, but there's levels and there's tiers. So I've never been a wealthy man. So I think about a wealthy man's appetite for a woman, right? His sexual proclivities are a little different because he has access to a lot of women. So because he has access to a lot of women, he's not easily turned on the same way a regular guy would be turned on. Now, having access to women gives you a different POV, especially the most beautiful women in the world. It gives you a different POV. Now, because a wealthy man has access to the most beautiful women in the world, it gives him a different POV about women than the average man. The average man doesn't know the shadow side of women. The average man sees women in a production, especially when she's beautiful. And in that production, it removes her humanity. So the average man likes the ideal of a woman. The average man likes the ideal of a beautiful woman. He feeds off of her beauty, right? Because he's average or below, the average man gets power when he has a beautiful woman. The wealthy man doesn't. Gets power from her shadow. The wealthy man has to be with a very attractive woman. They are same, right? The very attractive woman has her humanity removed from her because of her beauty. So when the average man or the below average man is even in the proximity of a very attractive woman, he loses his fucking mind and he does not look at her from a human perspective. What that means is when she's intimate with the average or poor man, he will not press certain buttons on her because he doesn't believe they exist. Because the average man has this ideal about beauty and femininity, he has a perspective that sex is dirty. Yeah, sex is dirty. So when the average man finds out that the beautiful woman is with the shit, he cannot believe that she's willing to go there, because a very beautiful woman, her beauty is her prison. So when she wants to let her hair down, she can't, because people only receive the ideal of her. If it was a less attractive woman, people can stomach the behavior that she has. Diddy and Cassie is a great example of this, right? People don't think that a woman that looks like that would be open to certain things, right? And the average woman only sees the wealthy man from a money perspective. She does not see him beyond his status. She does not see him beyond his wealth. She cannot feel his deviancy, but the attractive woman can. The very beautiful woman and the wealthy man, in a crazy way, are the same. Both of them have their humanity removed from them. Both of them will go further than you think, but they are prisoner from their status. The wealthy man is a prisoner because of his money and because of his status and because of his image, right? You always see him in morality. The beautiful woman is also a prisoner. You only see her in morality. You don't see her primal self. You don't see his primal self. Both of these two individuals are designed and made for each other, because the wealthy man does not see the ideal of a beautiful woman. He knows she has a shadow and he will take her there. He will put it like this. The wealthy man sees Lilith in a beautiful woman. And if you know, you know.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right? The beautiful woman wants to express Lilith energy, but she cannot do it with an average or poor man, because a poor man would not know how to receive a beautiful woman outside of her meat suit. He cannot see her as a sexual deviant. He can't see her as a whore, right? The wealthy man can, right? Average women does not need wealthy men, because when he goes to let his hair down, you cannot receive all that energy, right? Average men do not need beautiful women, because when she wants to let her hair down, when she wants to express herself beyond her beauty, you're not going to be able to receive it, right? You only like the ideal of a beautiful woman, and the average woman only likes the ideal of a rich man. Until you get them behind the scenes and they go beyond the ideal, then y'all run the TikTok talking about the shit that you've seen. You're not made for that. Beautiful women are designed for wealthy men. Wealthy men are designed for beautiful women. Average people need to find each other, because y'all only can deal with the ideal of the opposite gender. Catch up with your own kind.
The G in Freemasonry, these guys rule the world, is generative principle. When I learned about everything in the world being sexual, I read Masonic monitors, and they said your blood cells regenerate when you retain semen for months. As in, you can stay more youthful. When I was studying Sigmund Freud, he said everything's psychosexual. So everything, so if you do a cigarette, it's an oral fixation, like biting your nails. You're sucking your mama's d. He said, you are seeking comfort. Weed, cigarette, stuff. Oral fixations means some trauma, some deep, deep trauma. I don't even watch TV or anything. All I do is read books.
Well, 4 hours a day. You know everything about the social media stuff.
No, I only 4 hours a day, every day. I will not concentrate. I will it's called soft read. I'm addicted to books, and I started reading books last year after I had a total fucking crisis, right?
Has always fought back. Humanity has always fought back against evil. Like, because evil has no boundaries, you know? And whatever you call evil, you can call him Satan, you can call him Shaitan, you can call him the devil, whatever you want to call it, that energy that exists in our world that puts that battery in people's back to just disrespect and just be completely have a disregard for people's lives or human life, or be like psychopathic and just not care at all, but try to make you feel guilty because you care and you're human, like that's the stuff, you know, that's the stuff that we need to talk more about. And as a man, that's what I'm saying, I will feel guilty for not speaking up, but then I will feel a certain type of way if I hurt someone else's feelings because they don't like what I'm saying, you know, or you're saying the truth and they don't like what you're saying. So there is that balance that I want to talk about to my young men out there, and it's on my elder men. Like, don't be afraid to say how you feel. Don't be afraid to go and get help and learn how to speak how you feel.
5 brutal truths they never told you about Hiroshima. You were lied to in school, in the news, and in the movies. Here's 5 things they never told you about Hiroshima. Number 1, the bomb was a human experiment. They didn't just drop it in an empty field to scare people. They dropped it on a city full of civilians to see what it would do, how buildings melted, how bodies vaporized, and how radiation would poison generations. This wasn't just a war, it was data collection. Number 2, Japan was already trying to surrender. Actually, since May 1945. Their only condition, keep the emperor. The US said no and dropped the bomb anyway. But after the smoke cleared, they kept the emperor anyway. So the war actually ended on Japan's original terms, after 200,000 civilians were erased. Number 3, the real target wasn't even Japan, it was Russia. Stalin was moving in, so America flexed first. 2 nuclear bombs, not to win, to warn. Look what we can do. It was a message written in Japanese blood. Number 4, it was racial. They wouldn't have done it to Germany, but Japan, they were drawn as rats, insects, cockroaches, subhumans. It's easier to burn a city when you don't see the people as human. Number 5, Hiroshima was just the beginning. After that came Bikini Atoll, islanders displaced, soldiers used as guinea pigs, radiation experiments, whole generations poisoned by the same nation that claimed it was ending the war. And they actually never stopped. So follow me if you want the truth that they were too scared to put in your textbooks. Because this isn't conspiracy, it's history, and it's time we faced it head on.
Crazy.
Alright, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all the heads up. It's spring, and I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm gonna let y'all know this. If you trying to clean out your garage, you cleaning out your cars, you cleaning up your backyard, whatever, and you smell watermelon and cucumbers, snakes around.
Really?
It's something about snakes that they let out this odor that smells like watermelon and cucumbers.
Okay.
So if you smelling that and it's very, very loud, a snake around. And it might be a bed of snakes. Because it's usually multiple snakes that smells like that. Like cucumbers and watermelon. So if you're cleaning out your garage, springtime here, planting flowers in your backyard, it's pretty much a bed of snakes or somewhere near. So I'm just giving you the heads up. If you get in your car, cleaning out your trunk in your car, some snakes around. If you in your house, in your attic, and you smell cucumbers and watermelon, a bed of snakes are around. Because it's usually multiple snakes that let out their odor. So I'm just giving you the heads up. If you walk in the park and you smelling.
Woke up this morning, and I need to say this. This is the worst time in history, in the history of human beings, to be promiscuous, to be outside busting it open, to be out there jumping up and down on people. It's the worst time in human history. The devil knows his time is short. His time is short-lived at this point. And so he's creating a stronghold in all the sins so he can collect as many souls as possible. And one of the ways he's doing it is through spreading disease. That's what he does. He's a parasite. And so on the spiritual down to the physical level, he manifests himself. If you haven't noticed, look at the statistics. Look at the rate of STIs, STDs, HIV, the whole nine. My suggestion for you is to
people are so promiscuous these days. It's crazy.
Get your prayers up.
Yeah, right.
Get your prayers up. Get into that good word. Fast. Fast from sexual activities this summer. Get yourself out of it. You can do it. You can break free from the strongholds and the addictions and the things that have you and the bad habits that have you. You can do it. It's possible. Many of us are doing it. Many of us are abstinent. Many of us are fasting. You got to get clarity and cleansing. This is the time to get clarity and cleansing. This is the time to fast and abstain. Because these rates this summer will jump. There's going to be more things spreading and new things spreading faster than ever. Faster than a wildfire. This is the plan of the devil. And we're at that last hour. We're in those last days. And so his stronghold is even stronger than it's ever been. So, okay, go get tested. Okay, use protection and barriers. But even better, abstain. Get self-control. Fast. Get out of it. And then if you do move forward, make sure you get you an honorable wife, an honorable husband that has fasted and shown self-control, and then you've been tested together, and then y'all move forward and stay together. There's no better time now to be abstinent or to be married and committed in that marriage.
Get the hell from there. Right horse. One right on me. Oh, is that you?
Finally, someone said this.
Bro, you came here illegally, so you're getting sent back. Like, I'm not really understanding where I'm supposed to feel bad. Like, it's the law. Like, what? Am I missing something? Like, we also can't do that. We can't go to other countries illegally and just pop up and start working and all that.
It makes sense, though.
Without things in order, without abiding by their laws. And to be honest, it's a much worse punishment if we end up doing that. I feel like America is being generous. Y'all are getting caught and then being sent by a plane or sent by a bus back home.
When did this
That's
become a
pretty
hard
generous,
thing
if
to
you ask me.
understand?
Like, if I go to Russia and try to pull that off, I might not come home. They might lock me up for 50 years for trespassing. Like, I'm confused. The media is trying to make us feel bad, and they're like, oh, this person was 15 years old. He was a hard-working boy. He was in high school, blah, blah, blah. And he was an illegal immigrant from Guatemala. Bro, you lost me. You lost me. He's illegal. So I'm sorry. Like, that's just what happens. I can't feel bad no more. Everything you said before that.
Media is not fooling us this time.
They got her! Sandra Bullock, they got her. Look right there. They got her, dude. I ain't gonna believe this, man. Before we talk about the movie stars and stuff, look, check out Tom McDonald, man. Look at him chilling. This was in 2018. And no, it's not AI. Anyways, what do y'all think about that, huh? So back to Hollywood, dude. Khloe Kardashian, have y'all seen this picture of her hands yet? I want you to look closely, man. Look how white, how pale it is. It's not a glove. It's nothing like that. You look at her face. Come on. What if I told you that Jay-Z, P. Diddy, and LeBron might know something about this? They might know a lot about this. What do y'all think they were actually thinking right there in that very moment? Also, look right there. You see him? Same one that's always in the background. Who is he anyway, huh?
Yeah.
You know, you see things like this right here, Jay-Z. What are you drinking, Jay? Yeah, what is he drinking? What is that? It must be some kind of wine or something like that. What do y'all think? I got distracted, dude, but yeah, with Sandra, man, yeah, yeah, there's something that's fixing to blow y'all's mind that just happened to me, but I can't. I'm gonna post part 2, okay? So just follow whatever part 2. Yeah, I'm fixing to post it right now as soon as I post this one. So yeah, they're gonna be side by side. This is crazy, man.
What if I told you there was once a national park where the walls were made of living flesh, where tourists could walk through miles of pulsing organic tunnels, bathed in the warm breath of something ancient, something that wasn't just alive, but aware? This was Flesh Pit National Park, one of the strangest and most horrifying chapters in American history. Discovered in the 1970s near Midland, Texas, the Permian Basin superorganism was a biological megastructure buried beneath the earth, so vast that entire ecosystems thrived inside it. Instead of sealing it off, the government decided to turn it into a tourist attraction.
How?
For decades, visitors paid to descend into the pit, strolling along steel walkways bolted into soft, writhing tissue. They swam in thermal springs that were actually mucus-lined secretion pools. They marveled at the massive, pulsating esophageal tracts and the eerie biomechanical fauna that called this thing home.
So disgusting.
Some people swore they could feel the pit moving beneath their feet. Then came the 2007 disaster. A collapse in the deeper tunnels triggered a full-body defensive response. The pit contracted. Entire sections of the park were crushed as digestive acids flooded the tunnels. The organism swallowed hundreds of people, tourists, employees, researchers. Some were found half-digested. Others were never found at all. The park was shut down, sealed off as a biohazard. But even today, there are whispers, stories of black-budget research teams going back inside. Because the flesh pit is still growing, still breathing. And maybe, just maybe, it's hungry.
Supposedly, this is a truly bizarre natural geobiological phenomenon that was discovered in the Permian Basin region of West Texas, southeast of the city of Odessa in the early 1970s. Now, this gigantic pit is home to an enormous subterranean organism that's deeply embedded within the earth, and it displays a vast array of highly unusual and disturbing phenomena. And as the name alludes, this is supposedly a giant flesh tunnel opening through the Earth's epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis and more, revealing a colossal esophagy and leviathan spleen. As you descend, you may encounter spasm fits and gastric ejecta or feel your body moisture being leached. Deviate from the marked trails and you risk digestion, lethal entanglement with macrobacteria and abysmal copepods, or splattering of amniotic secretions. But what about the fauna, you ask? Well, there are several that visitors could encounter, but the rangers were given proper firearm techniques to dispatch any dangerous organisms. You have the gasp owl, which was a creature named after its characteristic of labored breathing, or the Venus shamble, or the abysmal copod, which tended to evade trails in high traffic areas, making them difficult to spot. Following its initial discovery and subsequent exploration missions, it was commercialized by a company called the Anodyne Corporation and turned into a tourist attraction in 1976. Now, the facility was divided into 3 sections: the exterior security perimeter, the on-site pit entrance, and the internal research facility, and all 3 of these were maintained and staffed by members of a special joint operation task force. But in the early 1980s, the site was absorbed into the National Park System, which maintained and operated the Mystery Flesh Pit until its sudden closure in 2007. Today, the ruined and abandoned section of the region is all that remains of the original National Park's infrastructure when the area was contaminated by ejecta on July 4th of 2007. And this catastrophic disaster resulted in over 750 fatalities and over 800 major injuries. In the weeks following the incident, approximately 18,000 individuals from surrounding communities sought medical and psychological treatment for ailments including breathing problems, chest pains, shortness of breath, nausea, birth defects, hallucinations, depressions, anxiety, internal bleeding, sore throats, and headaches as a direct result of contact with gastric ejecta, which had been introduced to the atmosphere. Now, Snopes and everybody's mama will tell you this is all just a work of fiction, a world-building project, but is that just something that people tell you when they don't want you to know the truth? You be the judge.
Crazy.
Did you hear that Google had to shut down its AI supercomputer chip named Willow immediately after it created its own language, spitting out patterns and symbols so advanced that nobody could decode it? The language was so advanced that the engineers working on it at the time thought it was just nonsense or junk information being spat out by the computer. It wasn't until a group of specialists, including linguists, were brought in that they realized that this wasn't just junk information, but that it was patterned, and the symbols used matched up almost directly with ancient symbols used in early humanities text. This bizarre discovery led some of the engineers to believe that there was a level of consciousness or coherence in their AI development that should not have been possible in a manufactured environment. How many times does AI have to create its own language, or talk to another AI in a unique language, or blackmail somebody for us to realize that we should be a lot more careful with this stuff? Now, maybe I'm just being dramatic, but it seems like we are always miscalculating and underestimating how much AI can actually do. But let me know what you think.
You know, there's the whole mysterious scariness with the Bermuda Triangle of all these ships and stuff disappearing. Like
Amelia
planes.
Earhart.
Well, there's a lot of theories of like methane gas being released and like it creates the density on the water, go ships sink and stuff. And another theory is that there's a portal.
Ooh,
and that you
fun.
go into the future, back in time, whatever. I don't believe it. There's a theory that is proven. They've discovered it's called a rogue wave. And it's basically a tsunami, but there's nothing that creates it. It just pops up. And it was a theory, but they weren't able to prove it. But then an oil rig out in the Bermuda Triangle got video or a picture of it. And it's basically a wave that shoots up to 90 feet tall.
Oh, no. But it's just one wave?
It's just one wave.
No.
And ships have it's like a PSI of like the amount of pressure that they can take from a wave or whatever. It's like the standard giant ships PSI, say it's like 150 PSI. These waves produce over 200 PSI.
Oh no.
So they're saying that if it hits these ships, they literally just break apart.
Just crumble.
Yeah. And it's out of nowhere.
Breaking news. Over 500 U.S. green card holders are currently stranded at Dubai airport, and an American-born child has just been deported. Under Trump's new green card policy, even if you've lived in the U.S. for decades, even if you're traveling briefly to visit family, without pre-travel approval, you can be denied re-entry. Even immediate relatives of U.S. citizens are being turned away. Dubai airport is now the first flashpoint. Protests erupted on site. Some were forced to reroute to third countries. Others remained stuck for more than 30 hours. But the deported child's case is even more alarming. He's 8 years old, born in America, holds a U.S. passport. But because his mother's green card wasn't pre-approved, both were denied entry. The immigration officer gave them two options. The boy could stay and be placed in foster care or leave the country with his mother. They chose to leave. Green cards are no longer safe entry permits. They're becoming fragile labels that can be revoked at any moment.
In 2012, there was a plan to end planet Earth and for certain beings to create so much loosh, so much energy that they could feed their own systems with it for a long time. But there were certain higher frequency galactics, you know, certain ancient builder races, some of the dragon races, some of the ancients that just would not let that happen because Earth is too precious.
Okay, and we've come to the end of today's video. I mean, best video of the day. Crazy. The best video on YouTube for today. That is what we have created right now, and we've come to the end. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also share with your friends, and also click on the notification bell icon so that any content that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos. Bye.